Is eating too much protein harmful to the kidneys?
You said chart?
Yep.
You would be the living example in front of them, right? You don't need too much energy for the body.
Kebab roll, chicken tikka roll.
You need healthy fats.
I don't want to go in the list. We'll go off topic again.
The people who consumed a lot of carbohydrates as well as fats in comparison to the protein had diabetes, cholesterol levels higher than the actual range.
I'm bad with the measurements.
What do you think is protein, by the way?
I think you have something else on your mind.
At New Fit Ummah, we make your life easy. He's still munching on that.
Yeah, I know.
More fat, more carbs. More fat, more carbs. Where's the protein?
So are they enough for the fitness goals out there? I'll have a surprise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Hamad. Welcome to Desi Diet Diaries, where we talk about nutrition, fitness, and everything related to Desis out there. So today, inshallah ta'ala, we will be covering a very, very important topic. And that is about protein and how it relates to our Desi diets. So everyone out there who has ever had any kind of questions related to how much protein I need to take, what kind of protein supplements out there are going to help me with my Desi diet in my mind to build muscle or you can say lean bulk or lose weight, weight loss, every single thing will be covered, inshallah ta'ala. So we have our certified coach Saad with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing, Coach Saad?
Alhamdulillah. Ala kulli hal, with the permission of Allah. Doing pretty good.
It's a pleasure to have you again here.
Likewise.
So inshallah, Coach Saad, without any further ado, let's get started. I had a quick question. So is eating too much protein harmful to the kidneys? And that's a very, I would say, popular question out there that we get to hear very now and then from the adults. So, yeah, is eating too much protein harmful to the kidneys?
Where did you hear that?
Oh, in my house. Just almost every cultural house.
So, what do you think is protein, by the way?
A macronutrient.
So, yes, it's a macronutrient, but the interesting part is the purpose of protein.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does provide you some amount of energy, but the main purpose of protein is to help the body recover,
Mm-hmm.
and it is like a building block for the body to repair and grow and everything. And protein, in short, is not going to mess up your kidney or anything or cause any chronic kidney diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving a science behind it, there was a research that was done. There was systematic analysis done, and there was a set of people that was taken into consideration,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, checked and evaluated that people who consumed protein on a consistent basis actually reduced the chronic kidney issues.
Mm-hmm.
Beat that.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, subhanallah. So it's the other way around. You eat more protein unless until you have a already underlying condition of your kidney or some sort of underlying condition that can relate to any of your kidney issues. You will not have any issues, none whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it is going to benefit your body, help you in, weight management, as well as keep you satiated for a longer time. So, no, kidney is not going to get messed up if you eat high amounts of protein. It is very, very, very beneficial. And the problem is, it is very, there's a lot of myth around it, and a lot of people eat more carbs, and they think lentils are the source of protein, but they are actually a primary source of carbohydrates. So yes, they do have a relatively higher amount of protein, but yes, but the problem is, as Desis, we double carb. We eat more carb and more fat and barely any protein. And that's the reason, as per the research you have seen, I think also the World Health Organization, as well as many research, have found that the people who consumed a lot of carbohydrates as well as fats in comparison to the protein had diabetes, cholesterol levels, higher than the actual range, which is very common in the Asian people, specifically people who are Desis. You name it, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, anyone. So,
I understand that, Saad, completely, but I've come across some specific situations that people who are advised by doctors, on having underlying conditions like, they are on one kidney, or they were asked by their doctors to reduce their protein intake because they're used to eating meat and other things. So what do you have to say in that? Because in that, they are advised to take in less protein.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the starting, that yes, protein is generally, that was the term, generally very good for you unless you have a chronic kidney issue or disease. And as you mentioned, a person who is not having a proper functioning kidney, or a person who just has one kidney, or a person who has maybe kidney stones, right? So either of those cases, like just an example. So their kidney is not functioning on an optimal level compared to an average individual. So they do not fall into the category of general people. So yes, they have to consume lesser protein. So for an average person, I would say somewhere between 0.8 to 1.2 gram of protein per kg of weight. But it depends what kind of activity levels you have, how much protein are you actually requiring for your repair and growth. But for a person who has some underlying condition, not more than 100 to 120 grams of protein for the whole day. They can even go up to low as 90 grams of protein, but not more than that, because the kidney cannot handle it anymore. But again, it depends. Again, we cannot say it's one size fits all. I have already spoken to a lot of nephrologists in a couple of seminars and webinars and in the discussions, and they came out at the fact that the previous studies have already been abrogated because the new studies show that yes, you have to actually consume more protein than usual to have multiple benefits and have better health overall, inshallah. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, another follow-up question I would say on that would be, like, we see the traditional Desi foods, right? What do you think about the protein content that they provide? So are they enough for the fitness goals out there? The fitness goal could be losing weight, gaining lean muscle. It could be anything. Just fitness in general. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If you are a Desi trying to lose weight and gain lean muscle, and you have tried every single approach out there, you have tried the restrictive diets, you have tried fasting, you have tried every single thing that you can think of, and you have no clue how to lose weight, then inshallah we can help you with our coaching, the New Fit Ummah online Muslim fitness coaching, where we help people lose weight without starving and while enjoying the foods they love. Inshallah ta'ala, you will be easily able to lose between 20 to 30 pounds within a period of 90 days or less, with your underlying conditions. Let it be hypothyroidism, let it be high blood pressure, let it be anything. Inshallah ta'ala, we will see that if you are ready to impact your life, then we are ready to help you make a change for your whole life, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum.
Any example you want to give? What do you eat in a Desi?
Oh, no, definitely, inshallah. So I would say, for example, usually what people eat is basmati rice. Okay.
Mhm.
Basmati rice coupled with a curry, right? A chicken curry, let's say. And then I would say roti.
Okay.
A whole wheat roti
Okay.
topped with some butter,
Okay.
some ghee.
Something.
And-
I think you have something else on your mind.
Are you talking about ghee as a fat burner?
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, I remember that guy saying, talking about ghee.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, as a fat burning source. SubhanAllah, Allah mustan. So wait, actually, what do you think about that? I saw your reaction video regarding that.
you
What do
mean
you
the
think?
ghee as a fat burner?
Ghee as a fat burner. I heard that it is the property of ghee.
What do you think?
Hmm?
What do you think?
Bestest source of fat.
What do you think? What do you both think about the ghee being as a fat burner?
I mean, definitely what I would say is,
I want to lean towards saying that it should be a fat burner because I can eat a lot of that with khichdi.
yep, that's why we have you here. SubhanAllah.
What do you think?
So I would say no, definitely not, because it stores it's like made of saturated fat, right? It contains saturated fat in it, and the more you take, the more you're gonna store it. So if you are having it in moderation, then definitely it's a
Yes
good-
and no. Does saturated fat does not mean it's going to get stored. So that's a whole different process of calorie deficit and as well as calorie surplus and everything, and the activity levels depending on that, it is going to dictate if the body is going to store or not. But generally speaking, any source of healthy fat, which is ghee as well, if you are eating in moderation, like a little bit, in fact, if you want to substitute a little bit once in a while, like 3 times a week or something, with just avocado oil or something, that's okay. But it has a lot of saturated fat, and end of the day, it is dense in calories. Every gram has 120 to 130 calories. Sorry, every spoon has 120 to 130 calories, and every gram of fat has 9 calories, as we already know.
Mhm.
And that's a lot just from fat. You don't have anything. And when there has been recent research that any source of oil or healthy fat that is high in saturated fat has been proven to increase or elevate your LDL levels, which is also called as your bad cholesterol. Yeah. So the more bad cholesterol, the more plaque formation, the more possibilities of cardiovascular diseases. So no, ghee is not a fat burner.
But coming back to the question that Hamad asked, do traditional Desi foods provide enough protein for our fitness goals? Like, usual katti dal, chamal, biryani.
Talawa gosh.
I don't want to go in the list. We'll go off topic again.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think yes, for a fact that a lot of Desi foods do not have sufficient amounts of protein, and they have, as mentioned earlier, has a lot of carbohydrates in their food. For example, they would have wheat roti, which is maybe, depending on the weight, 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. And then moving on further to, let's say you were consuming some curry. The curry usually has tons of oil, and you can actually see the oil floating on the top, and that's a sign that's a lot of oil. And then on top of that, you would have some vegetables. Maybe that might have some fiber, but the problem is you have more oil than the fiber itself, increasing calories. So you're gaining fat from that. Second, you're eating more of the, what do you call that? Maybe you had additional chicken curry, right? The chicken is usually chicken thigh or chicken leg, not the breast, because the breast is dry. And they think that is going to spoil the taste, and they eat more of the fatty version, again increasing in fat. More fat, more carbs. More fat, more carbs. Where's the protein? Yes, there's minimalistic protein, but the fat to protein ratio is very off, and the protein is very low. And that is the reason the fat and carbs are a source of fuel for the body. So they can convert into energy. So more energy given to the body, and the body is not utilizing this. End of the day, the body is going to store it as a fat. So yes, we have to be mindful of the choices we make, and maybe reduce some portions of the curry and also the roti, and then increase the source of protein. And maybe if you can add any other source of lean protein just to balance that up, and that should really benefit the people, especially the Desi people, inshallah.
Which means I get to eat a lot of meat.
Yes, but what you need to do is make good choices.
And
So
lean
not the
meat.
Thai meat, for example.
Lean meat.
Yeah, lean meat, definitely.
Don't
That's
go
what I
and
meant.
start eating those fatty.
But still, I can eat meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you want to eat the fatter versions of the meat, you can eat them. But again, you have to cut down the carbs. That's
You don't
what
need
Saad
too
said.
much energy for the body.
Already have a lot.
Yeah.
Allahumma barik.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
So again, another question, like a really, really important question
Mhm.
for that is you mentioned that people eat a lot of oil with the curry. So does that mean they need to completely cut down the oil and maybe just use like, I don't know, like ghee or butter, like, or something like that, or they can use some like healthier versions in moderation? What do you suggest?
You need healthy fats
Okay.
for your development.
Mm-hmm.
You always need healthy fats. You cannot completely cut off the macronutrient which is essential for your body's growth in terms of the cholesterol is beneficial for the body. So you
Mhm.
need that. Your body already produces that. And on top of that, you need healthy fats for increasing your testosterone levels as men, and for the women to balance all their hormonal levels, build up immunity with that,
Mm-hmm.
as well as increase energy, because fats are also long source of energy, more of a sustainable source of energy, so you can use it for long durations or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So every macronutrient is crucial because Allah Azza wa Jal has given us, and unless until there is an apparent proof that it is impermissible in Islam, you have to consume it in moderation, right? So you have proteins, you have carbohydrates, and you also have healthy fats. But the ratios would differ because the fats are calorie dense, the carbs are moderate, and the proteins are also moderate. But the protein should be slightly higher, the fiber should be higher, a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fats.
Mhm.
Perfect.
What
I mean-
about what do you have to say about those quick grab and go wraps that usually are found in restaurants? Like you have kebab roll, chicken tikka roll.
Mhm.
They have good amount of protein, I would say. Like they have chicken, beef.
Are you sure about that?
And then from the fact that we just spoke about the meat content of it, I mean, they have
Mhm.
a good portion of meat from what I've seen. Like
3-4 ounces.
I don't know about the ounces, but it's good amount of meat. I'm bad with the measurements.
So I think that the wraps are not the ideal choices one should make,
Mhm.
because end of the day, every restaurant out there typically will have a lot of oil because that they want to make it tasty. Either the meat would be too much fatty, or the marination would have a lot of oil, because the more the fat, the better the taste. But
Mhm.
again, the more the fat, the higher the issues, the more the calories, right?
Mhm.
So I would say that should be your last option. You should come prepared every time, because if you want to make changes or just plan your day accordingly. In any case, if you happen to get hungry and you have no clue and you find a restaurant that is halal and you still want to have it, maybe the chicken would be ideally go for a grill option, like grilled chicken or something. Still better than just deep fried. Go for that and then get a wrap. Yes, you might have to reduce the pita from there and increase more protein from that, or just eat whatever you have. Go home and get some fiber from either from strawberries, or you can even get it from a cucumber, and just drink some more protein just to balance it up, because the amount of fat to protein to carb ratio in a wrap is very off again, because it will be higher in fat, higher in carbs, and lower in protein. So either you can have it before or after, but make sure you have enough fiber and protein in your diet, which usually wraps do not. Some people just add a little bit of lettuce here and there, a little bit of tomato here and there. That is not going to benefit you. You need good portion of fiber with the protein, inshallah.
What about the sauce though? The sauce also adds to it.
That's the hidden calorie right there. So we're looking at least 300 calories just from the sauce, sometimes 400. So be mindful of the sauces because the sauces are made of the mayonnaise higher in fat. Nobody uses low fat mayo, right?
Yeah.
It's just the full fat mayo. That's made of egg yolks. Egg yolks are not bad, but you're just having a lot of egg yolks with the fat and oil with that. And then you have other sources, and then some people even add sugar to it, honey to it, you name it. That is going to really bump up the calories of a wrap. Ideally, which is supposed to be 300 or 400, will go up to 600 to 800. So no, I would not recommend it. Be mindful. If you want to get better, make a better choice. As simple as that.
Thank you.
I mean, one more thing is, it doesn't have to be that difficult and complex all the time.
No, you
exactly.
don't have to.
So, I think like just making like healthier, even if you're on a weight loss, or you can say even if you're trying to lean bulk as well. definitely 100%. Counting the calories and sticking to your daily range of your macros will definitely help you get the accurate, strict results.
Correct.
But at the same time, if you don't have that much time and if you don't have that much bandwidth to actually put in that effort, then you can at least make some good choices in whatever you're eating. So for that, I guess they can watch our last podcast.
Yeah. And that's a very good point that you have mentioned, that at New Fit Ummah, what we do is we make your life easy. What I mean by that, alhamdulillah, is by making easier choices. For example, if you're a person who's busy and you cannot make this significant changes in your diet, we help you make smaller yet achievable, things that you can apply in your life that'll give you good results. So yes, I mean, if you give less time, you will have a slower progress, but you will have a progress. For example, it reminds me of one of my recent client conversations where they were having a lot of issues in terms of, they were earning really good, alhamdulillah, Allahumma barik, and really busy with their work and, piling up all the things that led to a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress was so high that if an average individual is doing everything right,
mm-hmm.
and yet they have stress, they cannot,
mm-hmm.
I repeat, they cannot have progress. So the stress is like a poison for the body. I mean, a little bit stress is normal, but more than the the capacity of you managing that is high. So that individual got another job in the same company, already having a lot of stress, and that became double. So now double the stress, double the work, double the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, see, you don't have to make major changes. Do not skip your meals. Two things you have to do. Do not skip your meals. And as always, I say, high protein, high fiber. Do not look at what you're eating. As, not like just eat whatever. Just whatever you're getting, I know you still make some healthy choices. Just make sure the protein is high, the fiber is there. Do not skip the meals. That's the first one. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, as soon as you have stress, or if there's a meeting that is going to lead you to stress, start walking. Start walking. Don't even think.
That's it?
That's it. And then here's the catch. That individual who was having double the work,
Mm-hmm.
double the stress, but only made these two changes, is at the lowest weight right now. Subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
The lowest weight. Double the stress, the lower the weight. That is very unusual combination. But what did they do? They started walking.
Of course, by the permission of Allah, but you make it sound like it's so easy. Of course, there needs to be someone on. No, I mean, it sounds easy, but Allahumma barik, most of the individuals don't even think about it first. Second, even if they think about it, I feel that there is always something needed, like a person with that kind of like care and compassion, who actually supervises them and be's on top of them, like you do with your clients. Like if I was that person, I wouldn't do something like that or think about it, because I already have a lot of stress. But if there is someone to check upon me, so that I have these habits built in me, then inshallah, eventually I will have that kind of progress.
Yes,
so you give less credit for yourself. You understand that, right?
Yeah, with the permission of Allah again, because I don't want to feel that pride. Because anything we do is, as we say, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The only mighty entity is Allah Azza wa Jal. And we are just following the decree. So, yes, I would say that with the permission of Allah, I was able to help a lot of clients to become the best version of themselves. But yet, I wouldn't take the full credit, because I just did what I was designed to do by the Creator Himself. So, yes, and that is also an interesting part, as you mentioned. We at New Fit Ummah help people become better, because end of the day, it's the accountability that is going to help you. It's not just the plan you get or the directions you get. It's the process of helping you reach where you want to reach. It's the process of catching your hand and guiding you towards the direction, so where you can go. If you fall, it's okay. So it's okay to fall. And we are going to help you get back up, bounce back, stronger than before, 1% better than before. And that's what we believe at the New Fit Ummah. And alhamdulillah, we have seen progress with that. So yes, you will have challenges. Yes, you will have problems. Yes, you will face difficulties. Yes. Do you think the life is easy? No. But being weak, being fragile, being, unfit is harder. So choose your heart and get better. As Sunnah guy also says, Allahumma barik. Choose your heart. So.
And that guy is amazing. Barakallah fi. On a separate topic, I think Hamad might ask you this, but let me ask you. On a normal day, we have spoken about the different things that we have. But what about when it comes to fasting, or that kind of diet where it's not like the usual, not the regular? How does protein intake impact on those kind of activities? Because those are obligations, like Ramadan is an obligation. We do it anyways. So how does it impact taking protein on that kind?
So be it Ramadan or just your voluntary fast, it's still easy. We have all the options. It's just about understanding how your body works. You have to first connect with your body, understand how the body feels, listen to it. If you're feeling weak, if you're feeling fatigued, if you're feeling groggy, if you're just having a brain fog, if you're having a lack of bowel movement, gut issues, listen to it first. Everyone have different issues. Now, that is going to change when you fast. Either it can get better or it can get worse, depending on where you stand. So depending on that specific thing, you have to understand that fasting is not a task. First, then we are doing it for the sake of Allah. The main intention is to be, keeping the intention as pure as possible, only for the sake of Allah, to attain His reward. And then, yes, we can have some secondary intention, as the ulama have mentioned, that you can also get the benefit of the fat loss and weight loss with that. But that should not be your major intention, okay? So what you can do is to have a better approach, we eat suhoor like before the time of the fast, right? And then we have the iftar, right, where we break the fast. Those two meals are very crucial for your day. So the suhoor, you should not miss it. Just have some water, some electrolytes, some protein, and then some fiber. Protein is really going to keep you satiated, filled up for a longer time. You won't have any energy crashes, right? And then you can either choose fatty or semi-fatty meat, depending on what you would prefer. And then depending on how you had that meal, you can plan your evening like that, because usually you would have an exhaustive day, have some carbs, yet still have some protein with some fiber. So yes, keeping your protein high, especially during that fast, is really going to benefit every single person. But yet again, every person cannot eat a lot or less. So depending on what you are eating and what you are doing, I would say plan accordingly, listen to your body, and plan your food at that pace.
Okay, awesome. Jazakallah khair, barakallah feekum.
I mean, an important point I would say is how can, someone educate family members about the need for higher protein diets? This is like a really important and
important.
tough question.
Definitely important. My father says, protein mat kha, kuch bhi ho jata. I mean, he used to say, I would say.
Okay.
Allahumma barik, he now understands. I mean, someone educated him.
Okay. So you mean to say he said that don't eat protein, and what you said again?
Something's bad gonna happen to you.
Something's bad gonna happen. So that's
And
Because
in-
it's like
in
an
general-
artificial thing is what he believes.
In general, like people don't have, in our culture, they don't have that kind of, awareness about protein. So how do we educate our family members about the need for higher protein diets so that, when the time comes and we are already following, how do we actually make it happen? Because end of the day, it's not always us. Culturally, most of the time, it's our family members who help us more, I would say, pushing to have a high protein diet if we can. So how do we educate them?
I would say first educate them by teaching them, or the best way is to lead by example. First, change yourself. When they see you change by eating more protein and then having enough fiber in your system, you will see significant changes. When they see you change, you would be the living example in front of them, right? So you lose weight, you build muscle, you do resistance training and everything, and you're having the perfect lifestyle and everything like that, right? So when you change and you have that impact on your body and they see you, and now when you go and tell them, hey, I think, what I applied has helped me, and I thought that, as Allah says that what you love for yourself, you should love for the believer, and unless until you do that, you will not attain Iman, or the Iman wouldn't get higher than that. So when you know that, you tell them that I want it really helped me, so I want it to help you as well. And then you tell them and educate them by sharing the podcast, which is halal, obviously. And then because there are a lot of podcasts out there that I would not recommend, you can watch our podcast or any other podcast that talk about proteins and how that help in the body's metabolism, the chemical activity, how the enzymes work, and how the the digestion happens, the metabolism happens, and the development happens, the growth happens, the repair happens, and everything of that sort. So eventually they will understand that. The first step is it's going to be you who is going to change yourself and lead by example. So they look at you and then they will listen to you. And why I'm so sure about that? Because I have applied the same with my family. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Ala kulli hal. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. I have applied for myself, and then they saw me, and now when I tell them something, they believe it because they see me doing that, and they have seen me change from nothing to something with the permission of Allah again. Alhamdulillah.
But of course, there is always a challenge, when you say something like that. You are a professional, it's easy for you to say. If I'm just a layman, I'm just following something, getting something from the grocery, maybe watching a video or something. Do you think, is there a way I could actually give them access to you? Of course, the videos are there. Do you do regular webinars or seminars or something now and then so that which I can bring? Because most of the people that I have at my household, they are into social media, but they're not so much conscious, I would say. But maybe a webinar, like if you have a webinar or something going on, I don't know the schedules and everything, how you put it out there. But if you have something, would that be a good step in that direction where I can educate them? Is that a good way, or you should just say that I should follow and they should see me?
So I think we have already had some seminars and webinars out there, and they can probably check out the content on Instagram and everywhere, inshallah on YouTube as well. And we still do seminars and webinars here and there with masajids and out there to educate people in the Ummah, alhamdulillah. So you can just stay connected with our website as well as our content out there on Instagram. Inshallah, they'll be posted and they can benefit with that. Inshallah.
So I can, inshallah, so I can reach out to my local masjid to have something like that?
Yeah, you can. And if you think that the community would benefit, let us know. Shoot us a DM or email us or anything. Inshallah, we can reach out to you, and then we can plan up something depending on our schedule, and the team can find out some time, and we can do something that will benefit the ummah. Inshallah.
So that will definitely be a really good thing. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah.
Inshallah.
Ahmad.
I would say, like, Coach Saad, for the Desi family household, right? We mentioned that, okay, so these are the things that you can do it for yourselves first, and then once they see the changes in you, then they will be more, they're more likely to follow your advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say during the process, so someone in the family, let's say, he's trying to lose weight, and he's trying to increase the protein intake, and he's trying to actually make changes to his diet. And it's going to take a lot of effort from him. So what are some of the strategies that you would recommend people make while they are on a weight loss journey and they don't have access to any coach?
So it's not hard. What I would say is, generally what I tell people is to follow this method is use your hand as an example to measure the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best way is, for example, the hand, the palm size would be your protein, the lean protein ideally, and your double fist size would be your soluble fiber from the vegetables ideally, and maybe some from the berries or strawberries, which are slightly lower in calories, but ideally from vegetables because they are better option.
Mm-hmm.
And then one fist of carbohydrates, ideally the complex carbohydrates like rice or chapati or something. And then a small scoop, or just 2 thumb sizes of healthy fats in that, because generally you still have some fats in the meat. So if you're following that approach, and choose a smaller plate, because this research have said that the smaller the plate, and if you fill that up, it's not going to be a lot. And if you follow this method, it's going to be a balanced approach, slightly better than before.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you happen to finish that small plate, even though you ate less, the brain would be tricked that you actually ate more. So it's a way to trick the brain and enjoy the food and yet feel satiated with at the same time. So yes, some of these changes can really benefit the people if they are on a weight loss diet and if they have no access to the coach, but yet that would give them significant results. But if they want better expertise, and if they have some underlying conditions, and if they are stuck at some plateau with the diets they have used, and so they can come to us at the New Fit Ummah, so we can change them. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Barakallah fiqh. So definitely 100%. I would say, like, there are 2 to 3 main points. When you are trying to lose weight, the nutrition advice that Coach Saad gave, that would be the first thing. Okay. So start making changes in your diet first, and then couple it with consistent walking, right? And how many steps would you recommend? How many steps a normal general person can take on a daily basis just to be consistent?
I would say anything that'll be higher than what they were doing is the best approach to start with.
Okay.
Because if you're a person who would prefer to keep a target, then I would say between 8 to 10k steps. But if that's unrealistic for you, you're a busy person and then you barely have time to walk, then I would say check it. And if you're walking for maybe a couple of minutes, increase it to if you're walking, for example, say 20 minutes, then increase it to 30 minutes. If you're walking for 30 minutes, increase it to 40 minutes. If you're walking for 40 minutes, then increasing accordingly. So do it every week. So each week you increase that and stay consistent. Then the following week you increase further and stay consistent. Eventually the body will adapt. Eventually you will adapt. And it wouldn't look like a chore, more like a usual thing. So that is really going to benefit a person. So that is a good way to start, to just improve what you were doing before. And that is going to keep you more consistent and have a more sustainable approach, inshallah.
Inshallah. I would like to, touch base on the last thing that I was thinking of bringing up to Coach Saad. Practical meal planning tips. Of course, we have spoken a lot about the Desi protein diets and everything, but what are some easy Desi protein rich meals for a busy lifestyle, like maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3, so that people can start actually applying in their lives?
So for example, if a person is would like to eat more protein and yet are not aware, so what they can do, they can usually have like a roti. Generally make sure you have less oil than before and keep working on that, like I just showed you. 1% better and 1% lower if it's more. And then have some fiber. So generally the vegetables which we eat, like bhindi, okra, or any cabbage or anything like that, that will still have a lot of fiber, lower in calories, until you add a lot of oil, right? So you eat that, you're getting fiber, you're getting complex carbohydrates. Now you add a protein shake. Protein shake is beneficial. So it's not going to cause problems and it's not artificial. Just if that question arises, just to clarify, which I have been getting every single time I have a conversation with a client, they said, no, we do not want to have protein shake. Okay, is there a reason? They would say, no, because we heard that it is artificial. We want something natural. Okay, I asked them, what do you think the process looks like? How do you think the protein is made? The protein is just milk. When you filter the milk and remove the excess sugars, excess fat from it, and purify the protein, it becomes in a form where there are 2 separations, like casein and then whey protein. And then the casein is a slow digesting protein and whey protein is a faster digesting protein. So what you're just eating or drinking is just the powdered form of a milk. So yes, it's natural. It is one of the most efficient sources to consume. And some of the people have actually calculated depending on that. And sometimes, some places, it's actually cheaper than chicken breast or chicken thigh. I don't remember, but it's cheaper than chicken. So you want to improve your situation, you want to improve your health, make sure you invest in the protein powders out there. Obviously, look for the ones which are lower in ingredients and not with excess, as well as the animal and synthetic rennet. Check for that. The animal rennet might have some not halal sources, so go for the synthetic rennet. So you are just looking at the vegan option and then milk, and that is really going to improve. So in that way, if you have the roti, you have the fiber, you have the protein shake, 1 or 2 scoops depending on where you want to go, you will have a perfect balanced diet. And depending on make changes according to that. If you are having, for example, biryani, if you're you're eating biryani, right? Yeah, you can have some biryani. Just make sure, don't eat it every day. Just make sure you have more protein from the biryani and then enjoy. And that should really benefit you. And maybe add some cucumber later down the line. Inshallah, that should help you.
Also, Jazakallah khairan. If for protein options, I choose chicken tikka over paneer, what would be the difference? Like, because there are a lot of people from the north side of India, and I think they prefer paneer for, they believe it's more healthier. But when considering practical side of things, is chicken tikka sandwich much better than the paneer wrap, or how does that work?
If it's homemade, both are fine. But I would say ideally chicken breast should be better because if it's chicken breast, yeah, chicken breast is better. But paneer, if you generally people wouldn't go and start getting low fat paneer, right? Or cottage cheese. So I would say just go for paneer, which is lower in fat. If not, just usual form of paneer would still have some fat, but slightly higher protein than other sources. And then maybe you can pair it with other source of protein with that. That should really benefit. So if you're a person who do not like meat, then go for low fat paneer ideally. If not, paneer is general paneer is still a better option. And the wrap should have some fiber as well, because paneer is still a source of protein, not a source of fiber. Some add fiber, have a wrap, enjoy yourself. There's always a way out.
Okay.
For everyone. So enjoy yourself. Just know what foods are what sources. Choose your food accordingly.
Awesome. Jazakallah khair. I think Hamad will ask the last snack question I wanted to ask, but I'll have a surprise. So I'll have Hamad ask the last snack question to you.
So, Coach Saad, can desi snacks like chaat be transformed into high protein alternatives? And what are some of the things that we can keep in mind while eating them?
You said chaat?
Yep.
Yeah, you can have chaat. No issues with that. Just be mindful of the quantities of the things you add. For example, they are adding onions, and then black beans, and then chickpeas and everything. Chickpeas are a good food. I would say technically it should be a superfood, if it's not already, because it has good amounts of healthy fats, good amounts of proteins, good amount of fiber. But yet again, they are high in calories. So, I mean, a little bit of chickpeas, a little bit of black beans, green beans, lettuce, and some salt and pepper should be fine. Some lemon squeeze on that should be fine. They barely have any calories overall. So, I mean, I don't see any point to avoid that. Enjoy yourself.
Okay.
And just have some lean protein with that to balance it out. Or maybe have some Greek yogurt with that, and that should benefit you, inshallah.
Perfect. So basically, like keeping the protein intake high
and the fiber.
And the fiber will actually give you a wild card for eating snacks. What are you eating?
Speaking of snacks,
what is that?
This is
protein chips.
This was something that I asked Saad long back. This is a good protein chips to snack. Why do you recommend these, Saad?
Are you branding their brand?
No. This is something that I can eat without guilt. Protein chips.
Just to make sure.
See, it's written protein chips.
He's gonna try to eat that now, right? He's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you can have that. But I would say the best approach is to again create something in your home that is still considered processed a little bit, and then again the fact that it has some artificial coloring to it. But I wouldn't say that is going to, it's not the end of the world, and it's not going to really harm you unless you are not munching on it every single day 2-3 times. You're having once a day, that should be fine. It's not going to really affect you, and there are many research that have already proven that additional artificial color or the processed foods, if you're taking in moderation, because everything is processed out there a little bit here and there. But if you're able to balance it, enjoy Quest chips or any other chips out there, or even create your own version of that, no issues. But just be mindful that eating the whole natural foods is the best option to benefit yourself, and you'll have a better gut health and overall development, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Wayak.
Do you have anything? So I think we have reached that point in time that we have to say goodbye to you. So, but Alhamdulillah, I think it was a very good session overall. What do you think, Hamad? I mean, we learned a lot.
Alhamdulillah. We learned a lot regarding proteins and why is it really important. And at the same time, what are some of the practical steps we can take? One last question before we end.
Okay.
Do you provide any recipes that we can actually use in our practical lives? For example, let's say a healthy mutton biryani recipe or a healthy desi chaat that you can get out there. from the restaurant.
Yes, we do provide. Alhamdulillah, that's one of the things we provide in our service at the Nufit Ummah is we give you the recipes which we already have.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you want some specific recipes, we also create that. Like, we already have created a lot of Hyderabadi dishes, Mediterranean dishes, Chinese dishes, desserts, French toast recipes, tiramisu recipes, and
So hundreds.
Punjabi food recipes, pulao recipes, Korean recipes, you name it. So if there's something not out there with us, you let us know. We'll create it for you. Alhamdulillah, and we have had success with the people enjoying it and loving it. So there's no way out.
Mm-hmm.
So if people don't like, people are, if they're bored with desi meals, you still have something so that they can enjoy outside of the desi meal.
Yes, they can. They
That's
can
great,
in
man.
fact enjoy what they love and eat it every single day and still lose the body fat and maintain their shape. inshallah.
Especially like this usually helps clients. What I've seen is when they have a big family or they have a family that that usually cooks in the house, then it actually helps them a lot to just copy paste the recipe and actually lose weight and not make a lot of effort and thinking into making meals.
He's still munching on that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, please. He's not trying to promote again. We're not getting any money from Quest.
He's just eating it because he wants to.
I guess we
Alhamdulillah.
have to take a break now.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاك الله خيرا for watching our episode. And inshallah, we'll be back very soon with our next one. Salaam alaikum.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.